Hello, Glendale, and welcome to the 14th edition of the 411. I'm Kennedy Graves.
And I'm Brock Cantrell. Up first, Lauren Beatty and Peyton Sheets give us some insight on the new library.
There were a lot of changes to the library, both in the facility and in the way that we practice and function. So as far as facility upgrades go, we no longer have seated computer labs. We now have more of a mix of technology. We have some seated computers and then also some mobile technology in the form of laptops and a few tablets even. And so that allows some flexibility where students can work, which is a little bit more of a modern concept.
Well, I like to come to the library to use the computers because it's convenient to be able to do that without going to the computer labs. And I also like to come in here and check out books because it's really easy compared to going to a bookstore and having to buy the book. It's just like at school. So
again, there's breakout rooms that people can use for studying in groups. That way, if you're trying to have some focused time, you don't have to meet out in the big space. You can meet in kind of a more private setting. We have furniture that is on wheels and modular so that it can be moved around easily to form a group that fits your needs rather than being big and bulky and immovable.
As of now, we have used like the commons area for our Girls Service Society meeting, and that was nice to be able to use the chairs and tables.
Not very often. I think I've came here 2 or 3 times since they rebuilt it. Mainly just to look for books. I don't really use the computers very much, so just for entertainment.
I guess the flexibility. There's a lot of ability to change things to suit the needs of the group that's meeting, which makes it more functional and more adaptable to a lot of different things than we had before. Before, you could type a paper in a computer lab kind of setting, and you could sit at a big table that was kind of set for a whole class, and now you can do all sorts of things.
I think it's a good use of funding, but also there are other things that we could have spent the money on, but I think the library is going to encourage education at school and stuff, so overall I think it was a good idea.
Okay, I just think it makes people want to come to the library more and get interested in reading.
We're just really excited for all the changes. We have virtual space that's available if our doors are closed. It's open 24 hours a day, and that's a really exciting thing. We have a Canvas course and a website that kind of addresses those needs. So that's kind of something new and exciting that people probably haven't thought about yet.
Come together right now over me.
Make sure to go and check out the new library. Are you considering early graduation? George Timpson and Brock Cantrell tell us about it.
Early graduation has been a popular option for many high school students. Glendale counselor Mrs. Ewing tells us a little bit more about some of the options.
We have several options that kind of encompass the graduating early scenario. An early graduate, that term is actually for someone that is completing their graduation requirements in 3 years. Oh, okay. So, and that's not nearly as popular, even though we have lots of kids that could, by credit-wise, all they would have to do is take a extra credit in summer school.
Ben Grosser tells us some of the positives of graduating early and shares with us what he's been up to now that he doesn't have class.
Well, I'm going to be moving to LA in July, and I wanted to save up some money, work on some businesses, and write some music before I went. The institution I'm looking at doesn't require an ACT, they just require a diploma, so I doubt they'll mind.
Glendale student Derek Young explains some of the reasons why you wouldn't want to graduate early.
Well, you don't get to graduate with your friends, which sounds kind of like a bummer, you know. You don't get to go to college and have some of your friends come with you, and it's not going to be any fun at all. And colleges don't really like it if you come in halfway through the year trying to join their classes and with other kids who've already prepped for these. And you're a little underage, so you're not going to be able to do much with all the other kids, and you're going to kind of stand out. But
Graduating early is certainly a choice well worth considering for many high school students. Signing out for the 411, this is George Timpson and Brock Cantrell.
Talk to your counselor if you're interested. Up next, Caitlin Stratton and Megan Burke show us the process of getting your wisdom teeth out.
Many students around Glendale are experiencing the dreaded rite of passage, wisdom teeth surgery. As many know, this surgery is painful and can involve several complications.
Okay. I got my wisdom teeth out December 29th.
Okay, my first surgery for my wisdom teeth was December 18th, I believe. And then my second surgery date was the 29th.
Well, it's been a little over a week and I'm still not recovered fully. Like I still get really sore on this side, and I have to take my medicine like in the morning and at night and stuff, just because that's whenever it gets the most sore.
People get their wisdom teeth out for multiple reasons. Probably the number one reason is they don't have enough room in their jaws for that third molar to develop. So a lot of times you see the wisdom teeth get impacted, and they can be impacted sideways, vertical, they can be impacted leaning back towards the back of your mouth. It's different for every patient. Another reason is if the tooth starts to erupt and it partially is showing through the gum tissue, it can cause an infection around that gum tissue that's overlapping the back half of the tooth. Then it becomes more of a food and a plaque trap. And then you get bacteria getting down in there causing the infection.
Well, I thought I had dry socket for a while because this side hurt really, really bad for a while, and none of my medicine was working, and so I didn't know what to do, and my parents went and got dry socket medicine, but by the time they got back I was better. But I still, it's really hard for me to eat. So.
Some patients, nothing will happen. If they're fully encased in bone and if they're not sitting close to a nerve or close to the other molars, to their second molar, then it may never develop a problem. But the problems that can happen is you could develop a cyst around a wisdom tooth. If it becomes infected, it can also cause nerve damage if those roots grow and sit down on your nerve that runs through that mandibular canal.
Well, after the first surgery, I got 2 dry sockets on the bottom, and then I got an infection on the right. So they upped my dosage, antibiotic dosage, and then I got an infection on the left, and I went in, and it had healed over the infection, so they had to put me under for a second surgery.
I would definitely recommend for patients to do it. Like if you're a student, I'd recommend for them to do it either in this summer or like over Christmas break, because it takes a lot longer than a few days to recover, and so you don't want to miss a lot of school.
Don't eat like noodles for the first probably 4 or 5 days, because that's what got stuck down in my thing, which caused the first infection, my doctor thought.
Signing out for the 411, this is Megan Burke and Kate Stratton.
Next, Kelly Kate Tedford and Trip Horsey show us how to stay healthy during the flu season.
It's always good to know how to prevent getting sick, especially during flu season. Nurse Harmon has some tips.
My best tips for staying healthy during the flu and sick season is good hand washing, drinking plenty of water, making sure that you're eating nutritionally.
During flu season, I like to work out a ton and stay active so I don't get sick.
During flu season, I like to drink a lot of water and stay active.
You can prevent illness by making sure that you get your flu vaccine. If you're sick, stay home. And our guidelines are if you have a fever greater than 100, if you're vomiting or diarrhea, or if you have a rash of any sort, you need to stay home. We like you to be fever-free and free of stomach illness for 24 hours before you return.
I feel like working out helps my immune system stay strong and helps out a lot.
When I'm sick, I like to tell my friends to stay away from me so I don't get them sick.
If you do get sick, you should follow the school's guidelines and see your doctor if it's serious. Signing out for the 411, this is Kelly Kate Tedford and Trip Horsey.
If you have an illness, please stay home. Signing out for the 411, this is Brock Cantrell
and Kennedy Graves.